Hey there, you just clicked on First Down Punts. Nice move. This is a podcast about football and how it relates to fantasy football. Hope you like what you hear. We're going to get this thing started. Let's get crazy. And welcome in, everyone, to another episode of First Down Punts. I'm your host, Coach Chris. Today we're going to be going over the predictions for the NFL End of the Season Awards, MVP, Coach of the Year, all that good stuff, as well as a sleeper pick for each award. Going to be a shorter video, but just want to get into it. Starting off, we're going to go into the comeback player of the year. These are players that were injured last year and returned to full, what you hope is full peak production. And with that being said, our winner for comeback player of the year is Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end for the Detroit Lions. Yeah, it's a homer pick, but he is one hell of a player and could finish as the sack leader in the NFL this year, coming back off the injury last year to broken leg. Our sleeper pick for this position is going to be Trevor Lawrence, quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. With Travis Hunter there, Brian Thomas Jr. there, a group of running backs that all can catch the ball adequately, if not awesomely. Travis Etienne there is incredible at pass catching, but at the end of the day, these are the two players I think probably have the most, I shouldn't say the best chance to win, because Hutchinson and Dak probably have the best chance to win, Dak Prescott. But Trevor Lawrence is a guy that went on IR last year, missed a bunch of games. And if he can come back and actually produce and get the Jags into playoff contention, into the playoffs, he could be that winner. Hutchinson is just such an impact player that if he's back to health, he's going to win this award, even over Dak Prescott possibly. So moving on to our Defensive Rookie of the Year award. A lot of players here. Abdul Carter, high pick. A lot of other guys. Jihad Campbell's, corner Jahdae Barron. These are all guys that are possible to do something. Benjamin Morrison could have been in this contention. Are in contention for this award, but I'm actually going to go with the defensive end drafted number 11 overall. That's Mykel Williams, San Francisco 49ers defensive end. I'm a huge fan of this guy. He was a top 10 player on my NFL draft board. At the end of the day, he got banged up a little bit in preseason, but he is back practicing, so I assume he's going to be okay. A little bit of a hyperextended knee injury, I believe it was. But Mykel Williams is special to me, and he's going to stand out on that San Francisco 49ers defensive line more than some of the other guys that got drafted at different positions. Abdul Carter is going to be awesome. I don't think we have any doubt in that. But I won't know if he'll have the numbers with the Dexter Lawrence, with the Kayvon Thibodeaux. The rest of those guys on that defensive line, he's going to help them as much as they're going to help him. So the question is, who gets the numbers? And that's what wins a lot of awards. You get big numbers, your team, you stand out. And with the Giants not expected to win a lot of games this year, Abdul Carter is probably less likely to win that award. So I got Mykel Williams, like I said, defensive end from the Niners, winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. My sleeper pick for this draft, or for this award, is Xavier Watts, safety for the Atlanta Falcons. He was a second-round pick. But with the defensive ends they drafted, they need impact players on defense. And him and the other rookie, I think it's Stutzman, the other safety they drafted way later on a day 3 pick, who's a tackling machine. But Xavier Watts is a turnover machine. He was that at Notre Dame when healthy. If he stays healthy, I think he has a slight chance to really sneak in there and make an impact for the Atlanta Falcons defense this year, and could sneak in and win the Defensive Rookie of the Year award if he gets the numbers, the interceptions, the deflected passes. If he can get 6-7 interceptions this year, playing that safety position with those new pass rushers creating pressure, he could definitely be in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year. So our Offensive Rookie of the Year award, a lot of contention here. Ted McMillan, Cam Ward, not Shedeur Sanders. Sorry, Sanders fans. Definitely some of the running backs, Travion Henderson, Ashton Genty. Those guys are all in contention. But who I got winning the Offensive Rookie of the Year award is Tyler Warren, the tight end for the Colts. I think he could go for 90 catches this year, because I'm not a big Pittman fan. More importantly, I'm not a big Daniel Jones fan. And they're going to need to get rid of the ball. They lost Ryan Kelly. They lost Will Fries. They still got some offensive linemen, but I believe the tackle's banged up right now going into the season. If Tyler Warren is the easiest and open option on damn near every play, he's going to have a shit ton of catches. and is going to have no problem stacking up stats to win this award as Offensive Rookie of the Year. My sleeper pick for this position, I've been talking about him all offseason, guys. Ollie Gordon, running back for the Miami Dolphins. His job just got that much closer to being able to be an impact player with Jalen Wright going on IR. Devon Achane is actually banged up right now with a calf, which that's scary as it is. Soft tissue injury right there by the Achilles. If something was to happen to Achane, Gordon's through the roof. His value is just to the ceiling, man, and beyond. He's going to be an incredible player. I told you in the draft rankings, I believe he reminds me of Joe Mixon. If he can be Joe Mixon in that Miami offense, if something happens to Achane, he's the sleeper pick. Something's going to have to happen to Devon Achane, and we don't ever wish injuries. I still think he's going to be an impact player as that number 2 back there. Could be the touchdown guy like Mostert was a couple years ago. I've been saying this all offseason. He had already passed Jalen Wright, and then Jalen Wright gets hurt. So he's not even in contention. So Ollie Gordon, get him in your fantasy league, and if you want to take a late round gamble on him, as the word represents, Ollie Gordon could definitely be a guy that could win Offensive Rookie of the Year if all things go right for him. Defensive Player of the Year. Lot of possibilities with this. We know Pat Surtain, the corner there with the Broncos, is incredible. Sauce Gardner, if he gets back into his status, incredible. TJ Watts, the Myles Garretts, all those guys. But I got Max Crosby winning this award this year. I think the improvements they've made on defense are going to allow, for one, him to be on the field more, making an impact without having to be the only guy that's getting attention. Just with getting Jermaine Pratt, who was Cincinnati's leading tackler last year, and they just cut him, excellent. Getting Jeremy Chin at safety, incredible. He's got people behind him that are going to help him get to the quarterback. The biggest problem for pass rushers is the corners can't guard a guy long enough, or there's no help on the defensive line for him. But Max Crosby's incredible, man. And you saw it last year. I think he won Defensive Player of the Year this year. So he's my number 1 pick for that award. The sleeper pick for this is the safety from Green Bay, Xavier McKinney. Former Giants player, went to the Packers. Getting Micah Parsons there, who I know a lot of people are going to bet on for Defensive Player of the Year. Getting Micah Parsons there, creating that pass rush for them, is going to make quarterbacks get rid of the ball. And Xavier McKinney is an incredible safety, man. Incredible. He's definitely a player that over the course of the season, if he gets those picks, he's going to be in contention for Defensive Player of the Year. You don't see it go to safeties a lot, but when safeties make a hell of an impact, they can be in contention for an award. And he's my dark horse, as they say, for Defensive Player of the Year, Xavier McKinney. Offensive Player of the Year. A lot of people. Usually goes to a running back or the quarterback that didn't win MVP, mainly because MVPs are usually quarterbacks. So we know how that's changed over the course. You get a running back every now and again that can win it, but it's been a while. And quarterbacks usually win the MVP because they are the most important position on the field. But some quarterbacks aren't necessarily the most important player. You know what I mean? On their team. Sometimes it is a running back behind them, but they have the stats and they get the win, so they get the award. But for this year, for Offensive Player of the Year, I got to go into Chase Brown, man. I told you I think Chase Brown finishes the number 1 fantasy running back. I think he's going to be a huge impact player that they just can't pay attention to enough with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase on the outside. That's all there is to it. He's going to have open holes all day. Burrow's still there. Cincinnati's going to have to score 40. And Chase Brown is going to be probably the biggest beneficiary of everything around him happening. So I got him winning Offensive Player of the Year this year. The sneaky pick in this, the sleeper pick, would be Michael Penix, the quarterback from the Atlanta Falcons. Quarterbacks, like I said, they win this award as well, usually when they're in the runner-up for the MVP. Now, I don't know if Penix is going to be in the MVP conversation, but I can tell you this much. I have full faith that he's going to be one hell of a quarterback and could be in contention for Offensive Player of the Year. Can't win Offensive Rookie of the Year because he didn't get to play enough last year. This could be like the consolation prize for that if he comes out and balls out, is that he gets Offensive Player of the Year as a dark horse candidate because they can't give him Offensive Rookie of the Year with this being his second year. So Michael Penix is my sleeper for that. We move on to Coach of the Year. We'll do that before our MVP, which is our final award. Coach of the year has a lot of candidates. You ask me who it should be. If Dan Campbell wins 12 games, he should be the damn coach of the year. But he should have been coach of the year one of the last 3 years. 3 years ago, they finished the season real strong. In his second year, go 9-8, just missed the playoffs. But they gave it to Brian Daboll because they went 9-8, and the Giants did make the playoffs as a seventh seed. So I understood that one. 2 years ago, it should have been him or D'Amico Ryans. With the way C.J. Stroud played, Houston went to the playoffs, won their division. They ended up giving it to Kevin Stefanski because he had to. I believe it was Kevin Stefanski. Yeah. 2 years ago, I believe it was Kevin Stefanski because he got to the playoffs with Joe Flacco. Last year, it should have been Dan Campbell at 15-2, number one seed, first time ever. And the NFL screws him again because Kevin O'Connell, I believe, is who ended up winning the award, made some things happen with Sam Darnold. Even though Dan Campbell beat them and won the division, somehow Kevin O'Connell with Sam Darnold was more impressive than 15-2 and number one seed. So I didn't pick Dan Campbell this year, even though I want to, because I believe the Lions are going to take a step back from 15-2, go 12-5, still win the division, and have a chance of making a run to the Super Bowl. If you saw our prediction video, I had the Lions beating the Broncos in the Super Bowl. But who I have winning coach of the year is the Broncos head coach, and that's Sean Payton. I think what the Broncos are about to do and overtaking the Chiefs, even if it is on a tiebreaker to win the division in my predictions video, he wins the AFC West, which is a statement in its own. The Chiefs have been running that division for a while. If Sean Payton could take down the Chiefs and take over that division, make a run to the Super Bowl, like this is a regular season award, but I think most people believe that defense holds up and Bo Nix takes that next step. The Broncos are Super Bowl contenders. A lot of people got them winning the division outright. It's on a tiebreaker. Both teams go 12-5, but because the Broncos sweep the Chiefs in the regular season. Sean Payton is the head coach of the year in my mind. That's who's going to win the award. The dark horse candidate, the sleeper candidate, is Aaron Glenn of the New York Jets, former Lions defensive coordinator. If Aaron Glenn gets the Jets to 10-7 into the playoffs, Aaron Glenn should be in contention for head coach of the year. That's all there is to it. Even if Sean Payton takes the Broncos back to the playoffs and they beat the Chiefs and all that stuff, if Aaron Glenn gets the Jets to 10-7, 11-6, he should be head coach, or he should be the coach of the year, no doubt. So for the MVP for the 2025 season, a lot of candidates. Lamar and Josh Allen are always good candidates to bet on. You got Saquon Barkley. If he hits 2,000 yards again, I don't think they could deny him. If he hits 1,800 yards, I think Saquon should probably be the winner. But I don't think he's hitting 1,800 this year. I think he's going to go for like 1,400 or 1,500 and be a damn good running back, be in contention for the number one fantasy running back, but not in contention for MVP. It is not his quarterback either, Jalen Hurts. It is Cincinnati's Joe Burrow. Chase Brown already won Offensive Player of the Year. Big reason for that is Joe Burrow is out there balling his ass off. I think Joe Burrow could go for over 5,000 yards this year. I think Joe Burrow could go for 40 to 45 touchdowns this year. I got the Bengals. I changed their record. They ended up going 10-7 and making the playoffs. And I believe getting a win in the first round of the playoffs. But I'll have to go back and look at that now in my predictions. But Joe Burrow is a hell of a player. If everything stays healthy on that offense, he's probably going to be the MVP this season. And although their defense sucks and they're not going to be the number one seed, more than likely, he is going to be the MVP. And there's not going to be a lot of argument about it, no matter what Lamar and Josh Allen do, because they want to promote Joe Burrow to MVP as far as I'm concerned. They need him to stay healthy. They need T. Higgins to stay healthy. And they need to make the playoffs. If they do, Joe Burrow is your MVP. My dark horse for this position, for this award, for MVP is C.J. Stroud. And I don't think that's a real dark horse. I think it's more about, we know C.J. Stroud's good. He took a step back from his rookie season last year. I think he takes that step forward. I think C.J. Stroud and Houston Texans are true playoff. They'll be in the playoffs and are true Super Bowl contenders. If those rookies and Christian Kirk, even if Christian Kirk doesn't make it through the season, I still like Jalen Noel a lot. You guys know that. And Jaden Higgins is a beast of a man. With Nico Collins, if everything goes right, they are Super Bowl contenders. They're already winning the division in my mind. And C.J. Stroud could definitely be a dark horse candidate for the MVP this season. So, other than that, guys, we're going to get out of here. Not much else. I just want to go through my award predictions for you. Hope you guys are having a good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, whatever time you're watching. Till next time, I'm out. First down, Punts!